Hey, what's up? I'm Noah from PhoneDog.com, and this is the third and final part of our dogfight between the Apple iPhone 3GS and the Motorola Droid, AT&T's flagship smartphone, Motorola's new flagship smartphone. You know, flagship. Not saying they're the best for everybody, but, you know, flagship. Anyway, third and final part, we'll look at the media players, and we'll get to the verdict. Who wins the dogfight, at least in my eyes. But first, special thanks to our friends at Best Buy Mobile, who provided us a couple of droids so that the rest of the PhoneDog team could take a look and weigh in with their opinions. Because, you know, I'm just one person, right? Everybody's got a different take. So, a couple more review units for us, and then we're going to give them away. So, thanks to Best Buy Mobile making that possible. Giving a couple droids away on the site via the One Pod Bandit game. So, look for that on PhoneDog and on Facebook. And real quick, you know, Best Buy Mobile, the thing that's kind of cool about them is you don't have to deal with mail-in rebates. You buy a phone there, they have this thing called no-hassle pricing. And, you know, whatever the rebate is, it's incorporated to the price you pay. So you walk out of the store, that's it. If it's $199 after rebate, you pay $199 plus all those taxes and fees. You're done. No rebates to mail in. So there you go. Best Buy Mobile. Thanks. The promo's over. Let's get to the video. We'll take a look at the media players. And I don't have a lot of stuff in the Droid right now. I only have one album in the Droid. We can kind of give you just, you know, an overview of the media players. The Android 2 media player, you know, the music player rather, a little bit nicer than Android 1. Still not, you know, some of the third-party companies, HTC on their Hero phone, and Sony Ericsson, from what they've showed at the demo of the forthcoming X10, we'll have to see how it actually delivers. They've done some customization to make the music players, you know, a little snazzier on Android. But basically it works. iPhone's got the leg up because you've got, you know, the integration, the whole ecosystem thing you're talking about. If you're an Apple fan, you buy into it and you love it and it's easy. And if you're not an Apple fan, you hate it, you think it's closed, and so be it. But it works very well. It's easy to search for, you know, artists and that kind of stuff. You can, down at the bottom, you've got your tabs for artists and albums and songs and playlists and, you know, all that kind of stuff. And then you can, you know, dive into the iTunes store and you can manage your videos from here, and you can customize the iPod layout, you know, on the iPhone. And then you've obviously got your built-in flash storage, 16 or 32 gigs on the iPhone 3GS, whereas the Droid has a micro SD card slot, comes with 16 gigs. So on the one hand, you can expand. On the other hand, the access to the media, little, you know, not quite as fast theoretically with an SD card as opposed to integrated memory. Anyway, the music player works just fine. You can go artists, albums, playlists, all that kind of stuff. You don't have the tabs at the bottom. You know, you go back to the home screen and then you can search according to, you know, or rather you can sort your music according to, you know, whichever category you want. But you can do playlists, and, you know, you can, it's got a built-in, recently added playlist. You can do playlists, and you can do sorting and searching and all that kind of stuff. And when you go to actually play a song, so we'll play the same song here on both devices just so you can see what it's like. Aaron Comas, drummer, formerly of the Spin Doctors. Not ashamed to admit it, I was a big Spin Doctors fan back in the day. We'll play the exact same song here on both, and you can just see what it looks like. You get your album cover, your album art on both, and, you know, you can scrub through the track. iPhone offers high speed and half speed scrubbing now. But, you know, you can scrub on Android as well, and you've got your controls. You know, very similar look. You can hit the little icon to get a list of all the tracks, and then you can skip ahead to a different track if you want. And, you know, generally speaking, they both work. You can play music through both of them. You plug a good pair of headphones in. They both sound good. They both support stereo Bluetooth. With the iPhone, obviously, you have an enormous number of docks and speaker systems and all that kind of stuff. A little more convenient, I guess, again, buying into the ecosystem. With Droid, you know, you plug speakers into it just like you would with anything else, and so there, you know, there you go. iPhone obviously has the, if you're into this kind of thing, has the nifty cover flow feature where you tilt the phone into widescreen mode, and then you can flick through your albums, and, you know, so that's kind of neat if you're into this kind of stuff. So, you know, the iPhone, and then also the iTunes Store, obviously on iPhone for buying your music and buying your apps and that kind of thing, and we'll show you that real quick. We go to the iTunes Store, and then on Android, it's tied into the Amazon MP3 Store. So you can buy stuff, whether it's music or apps, either way, and you can store your credit card info and everything, so you can just buy it, you know, through the iTunes server or through Amazon or Google Checkout. you know, depending. And there you go. The more selection in the iTunes store in terms of, you know, videos, and obviously the App Store is bigger, but you know, it just depends on what you want, whether it's music or apps or whatnot. Video support definitely a little bit better, a little bit further along on iPhone than on Android, but you can sideload your own videos onto either device. And, you know, some would argue that the freedom of Android's open platform and the fact that you can just swap SD cards in and out instead of having to use a proprietary dock connector to connect to iTunes to manage your media, you can, you know, swap micro SD cards. You can just drag and drop your media via USB connected to a computer. Some would argue that, you know, Android's better because it's more freedom. Some would argue iTunes is better because Apple has such a slick interface and storefront with, you know, such a big selection. So again, the choice is really yours. All right, so whether you watched all 3 parts of this dogfight or you just skipped ahead to the end of this one because you just wanted to get to the chase, what do you think's better, Noah? Here's the deal. I say this a lot, but it's really true. Which phone is better for you depends a lot on what you want to do with it. And, you know, how you use the phone. And I mean, everything, you know, down to like what aesthetics do you like? Do you like square corners? Do you like rounded corners? Do you like a hard keyboard? Do you not care? Do you have big fingers? Do you have little fingers? I mean, all that stuff honestly really matters. So I can boil it down to, you know, kind of 2 things. My best overall take and then my personal winner. Best overall take is this. You know, iPhone, it's slick, it's been around, it's the 3rd generation, so they worked out a lot of the bugs. This is the fastest, best iPhone yet. It's got a ton of internal storage. You've got the whole iTunes ecosystem. And all that stuff, some people love, some people hate. Some people love it because the whole Apple experience is easy to use, and it's very consumer friendly. It's very, you know, the operating system, the icon, you know, grid of icons, it's very simple, very direct, app by app, very easy to use. Some people hate it because they're like, Apple locks you into using only their stuff. You know, the App Store, who knows who makes the decisions for the App Store, how things get approved. You have to use iTunes, you have to use the stupid, you know, iPod proprietary connector, etc., etc., etc. So, you know, it's a love-hate thing. Droid, kind of the same thing from the other side of the fence. It's still, you know, Android 2.0 running on the Droid is the smoothest Android experience yet. Fastest, most responsive Android experience yet, but it's still a little rough around the edges. Still perhaps a little more geared towards the geek than the mainstream consumer or kind of the newbie to the smartphone market. But you can do a lot with it. So there's a lot you can do if you're willing to poke around and find the apps and the hacks and the tricks and visit the websites and manage your media, you know, yourself, drag and drop via SD card and all that. And for some people, that's the promised land. They'd have it no other way. For other people, it's just too confusing and too much, you know, just I don't know how to do this. Where's my iTunes app? How do I drag and drop files? You know, media files. Where do I find those in my computer? I don't understand. And, you know, for some people, it's like that. So I think Droid is going to appeal more towards the people who are either kind of more bent towards hackers or want to be hackers. Hackers isn't quite the right word, but want to mess around with the phone and how it works and customizing and all that kind of stuff. And then also people who just want an alternative to iPhone. They just don't want it for some reason. iPhone will appeal more to somebody who wants the whole, you know, process, the whole experience from buying the phone to using the media app to, you know, what you can and can't do with it. They want that kind of prepackaged for them in a way that is really well thought out and easy to use, right? Down to the features on the phone, for me, Droid excels at push notifications and syncing with both Google services, and it's better at syncing with Exchange server services and corporate services and that kind of thing. The push notifications for new email, for events, for, you know, things coming in from the apps and the way that it shows you just in the little top bar, superior to iPhone. iPhone is better for me at the web browsing is a little bit better because it does pinch and zoom, and it's a little bit faster and smoother still, although Droid 2.0 is getting close. And the Motorola Milestone, the European version of this phone, does pinch and zoom. iPhone, the media player is a little bit better, but again, Droid's getting better. All the internal storage here, 32 gigs on this version, you know, it's hard to beat if you use your phone a lot as a media player. More apps from bigger name developers, especially game developers, on the iPhone platform. And the camera is much more usable. Droid's camera is very slow compared to iPhone, so all the megapixels go out the window. iPhone's camera is easier to use, it reloads faster, and the images come out just fine, even if they're not quite as many megapixels. Beyond that, you know, the carriers, pricing's about the same. Where I live and work, Verizon's voice service is much better than AT&T's. Where you live and work, it might be different. So really, I would say, you know, if voice quality is a big issue, then definitely check that out first, because both phones work fine, but where I am, AT&T voice quality is a known issue, you know, all around the San Francisco Bay Area. Beyond that, comes down to what you want to use it for. And so that's where I get to, you know, for me, my winner, based on what I use my phone most for, which is web browsing, email and messaging, but using pop email, not using corporate email, media player, specifically music, and then there are certain apps that I use a lot. And so for me, the winner is the iPhone. I prefer using it. I think Droid is great. It's the most advanced Android phone yet. The built-in navigation is awesome and it's just going to get better and better. So you've got a built-in turn-by-turn GPS unit here in the device with no additional fees, which is killer. But I don't drive a lot. So when I used it, it was great. You can check out the video, but day-to-day, I don't drive that much. And day-to-day, I actually have come to realize I don't like the push notifications because I have too many emails I haven't answered yet anyway. So for me, the winner is the iPhone because I like its entertainment features. But for you, you know, it may well be Droid. There you go. Draw your own conclusions. Try them out yourself before you buy, if you can. And check out PhoneDog and DroidDog because, you know, our other editors will chime in and they have totally different opinions than I do. I didn't like Droid's keyboard one bit. Some of our other folks did. There you go. What can I tell you? Thanks for watching. I'm Noah from PhoneDog.com. Again, much, much more on the iPhone, the Motorola Droid, all the phones we can find over on PhoneDog.com. Till next time, you know, argue about it in the comments. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.